Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am CallMeNakomi, and welcome back to another episode of CallMeNakomi World. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You're far too kind. I appreciate you all for coming out again on YouTube and listening on Apple Podcasts and Spotify for all the great entertainment content that I could bring you guys. I so appreciate it, guys. So, while you're here, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, share, and rate me wherever you want to see more CallMeNakomi World. And I will definitely come out there and put everything that I can into what I give you guys. So find me on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. You can listen to all the episodes. I'm going to put it out there just in case you can't, view it. You can always listen to it. And, I really appreciate it if you just go ahead and rate while you're in there. Drop a couple stars if you feel like it. And I appreciate your effort, guys. But while you're here on YouTube watching me, go ahead, comment. Let me know what you think about the episode. Let me know if you have any thoughts or if you disagree with anything I said, and we could continue to have this discourse. But with all that being said, let me also mention that I have a new sports channel called Call Me a Sports Fan. Of course, yes, I'm a huge sports fan, football, basketball, tennis. I'm here for it all, and I'm here discussing sports with you guys, with a couple of friends of mine who will come around from time to time and give their opinions also. So I'm going to be providing great sports content also at Call Me a Sports Fan. Just go ahead and find that. That will be a YouTube channel. It's actually a YouTube channel already. I have a couple of episodes up there already, so go ahead and check it out. And thank you in advance for it all. Of course. But let's go on to our episode today. We are covering The Wheel of Time Season 2, Episode 5, which is called Domani. Yes, Domani. All right. Before we get into it, spoiler warners, of course. Yeah, like I said before, I'm going to actually give it a actual designation today. It's a moderate spoiler warning. I guess, it's not a no spoilers. It's a moderate spoiler warning. So it's like a level yellow, not a red or not a green light, but a yellow. I might mention things here and there that reference people, events, or, conversations that happen in the series, but I won't go into deep. Won't go in deep with anything that happened in any of those situations. So there is no direct spoilers to the series or for the shows, but consider the little things that I drop here and there Easter eggs for the veteran readers. You're welcome. Enjoy it. But let's get into the episode. So Rand and Moraine are running for their lives, of course, on the hillside, being chased by an undead Lanfear. Even though she can't channel, Moraine manages to stay 2 steps ahead of Lanfear at every single turn, losing her in the forest and returning back to Cairhien as Lanfear rides all the way to Tarvalin. Back at Casa de Damodred, they meet with Moraine's sister, Anvir, and her son, Barthanes Damodred. Getting interesting. And they plan to rest a bit and restock before getting back on the road. Makes sense. You know what I mean? A place of refuge that might not be too well known yet. Rand wants to sleep. He's very tired. But Moraine warns against it, saying that Lanfear is a master of the dream world. So, try to stay awake for as long as you could stay away from Freddy Krueger out there. While catching her breath, Moraine is in her room but is reminded by her sister that she can't control everything. And it just really kind of makes me think about some of the books, where, she just tries to control things and tries to stay in control because that's what Aes Sedai do. They come in, they take control, and they order people in the way that they believe that they should go to get the best outcome. But sometimes you can't ride that tiger, you got to just let it be a tiger, so she can't control everything. So she convinces Rand to go into the dream world and do some recon to find out what the bad guy's plan is. Okay, let's see how that works. But as soon as Rand goes in, he's immediately captured by Lanfear. All right. Till next episode. All right. The next we have Elias, Perrin, and Hopper on the road. Perrin realizes that they've been going in the direction back to the village, and rather than following the caravan as he thought that they were going to be doing, Perrin leaves the pack to save his friends, even though the other wolves and Elias doesn't like it, obviously. But he's joined by Hopper as he walks back the other direction. And then Hopper shows him that Uno's body is in a cage in the village, and Perrin decides to go and bury him, So when he enters the town, though, he meets Avienda, an Aiel woman in another cage, and Dane Bornhold. Here we go. It's gonna get good soon. After long, he realizes that the town has been captured by the White Cloaks, and they were planning to go to Falm to fight the invaders. He realizes that this don't got nothing to do with him, so he decides to sneak out and freeze Avienda, but are confronted by the White Cloaks. They're surrounded, and they dance the spears very well and escape. Then Avienda tells Perrin that she plans to follow him because she has tow since he saved her life, and they intend to go to Falma too. On to Verin, of course, another one of my favorites. She rides into Tar Valon hoping to meet Nynaeve, Egwene, or Elaine, but finds out that they're missing. She speaks to Sheriam, who has only just found out kind of practically that they're missing, and she looks and finds out that although there's a notation in the novice book that they've been signed out of the tower, and as Verin gets Sheriam to leave her study, she gets another Brown to come in and take a look at that novice book, and in the novice book, the Brown notices that at the notation that there's a certain tremor in the penmanship of adding that note, and they think about it, and they find it very curious, of course, and they wonder about, is it Black Aja? But to get really down to the bottom of what's going on, they plan to find out which Aes Sedai left the tower around the same time. On to a possible candidate. Liandrin has taken the girls into the ways. She speaks to Nynaeve, who is bonded and shielded. And Nynaeve says that she broke 3 oaths by attacking them, and figures out that she wasn't recruiting her for the Red after all. She tells Liandrin that she'd rather die than join the Dark, and Liandrin's response is, everyone has a price. When Liandrin returns to the tower now, she runs into Verin in the hallway. Of course, you have the customary shade thrown back and forth. And Liandrin gives her perfect alibi. A plant that grows in one place in the world at only one time at the year, I mean, how can you refute that, Then when Verin asks about the missing novices, Liandrin just happens to hear about a envoy. She shares that she just happened to hear about an envoy on its way to Camelin and hopes that the girls weren't involved with that, and heads right to the Keeper to let the Keeper know what's going on. And as she leaves, Verin just marvels at her at the level of bullshit that she just laid out. Yes. She was like, that was magnificent bullshit. In Falm, the Seanchan have set up shop, in a large manor house. Members of the Blood are seated around while Suroth is brought in and called in front of the High Lord Turok, the royal commander of the Hylene, which means forerunners in the Old Tongue. She invaded a village without the High Lord's permission and had the nerve to suggest that the High Lord made a mistake in his decision. He disagrees completely. They're on a mission to unite the world under their empress to fight the Shadow. And she jeopardized that. As punishment, of course, he bars her from the court and cuts off her fingernails. I know I probably would have been in pain from that. That looked like. But hey, maybe the knife was sharp and she barely even felt it. We'll see. We can only hope that she didn't. That she did feel it. Ishi, still being there in the presence of the High Lord, presents a gift to him. And of course, it's the Horn of Valir. And it's brought in by the man voted least likely to put your mind at ease, Padan Fain. With that, the High Lord proclaims that the world will be theirs. Then back in Suroth's room, she is big mad and bothered by being demoted because it was Ishi's idea to go to the village in the first place. She thinks that they should have killed Turok, but it would have plunged her empire into civil war. And he still has plots to weave. Later, somehow, in the courtyard, a waygate Later, in the countryside of Falm, a gateway opens and Liandrin comes out with the girls. Still knocked out, and Sue Roth and her entourage are waiting there. Complimentary shade, of course, being thrown back and forth between Peggy Sue Roth and Lindy Deer. And Leandrin decides to throw a grenade in the room before she leaves. She wakes the girls and cuts Nynaeve's bonds, thinking that that will basically, be a hurricane. But Nynaeve can't channel because of her block. So Elaine and Egwene take action, blocking and throwing fireballs back and forth with Damani and the Suldam as they try to escape. But Egwene is separated from the group and gets captured. And Nynaeve comes back later into the city to try to find Egwene. Elaine warns for them to, try not to draw any attention to themselves, because obviously someone should be looking for them. But too late. A man follows them and ambushes them in a alley and knocks them out like a hockey player's teeth. I mean, hey, they went right against the wall. It might as well have been plexiglass, because he came in and slid, boom, bow, right up against them. Later, she wakes up and she meets the man who attacks them and a sister of the Yellow Aja. He is her warder, and tells Nynaeve that Sue Roth has put the descriptions out to find them, so they have to lay low, Meanwhile, Ishii and Sue Roth present Turok his second gift, Egwene. A Suldam comes up and puts a collar around her neck, which transforms into some type of breastplate extending down her chest. Then a Suldam connects a chain to her to that collar, and it leaves Egwene writhing in pain on the floor. And I just feel so bad for her, because I've read the books, I know what's coming. Anyway, so that's the end of our recap of the episode. I think it was a great episode. There's a couple of things that stood out that I'd like to go over in episode 2, though. All those times that Moraine outsmarted Lanfear. It was just like, Lanfear is seething inside, and I'm excited to see the eventual standoff between them. When she called her a bitch, I was like, wow, I got goosebumps, and I started laughing, because I was just like, when them two, when they meet up again, they're gonna have words. Capital W, words. And Rand saying that his time with Selene wasn't a lie. I was just like, you know what? That makes sense. They spent like a whole 3 months together and didn't really, and were good together, even though he kept a big part of his life from him. Obviously, she was doing the same thing too. But they were together and were intimate and shared thoughts about their lives and their dreams and their histories and their past. So a lot of connections were made. So I'm sure there's going to be great conflict, in every single one of their interactions going forth. It's going to be very interesting, trying to feel out what was real and what wasn't, and Moraine not being able to channel, but having to trust Rand for now. She's starting to realize that she can't control where this snowball rolls to. She just has to, kind of go with it a little bit. And Rand has to fight his battle. So she just has to let him confront the shadow. It's something that he can't be afraid of. He has to realize that he can do it and he can also win. So, she just has to kind of let him fly. Also, I'm curious about the dark power, the use of the dark power. Lanfear protecting herself from death and is able to heal herself, which usually Aes Sedai are definitely not able to do. And then her reality stone abilities, being able to morph a woman's mouth shut, was crazy. I was just like, wow, okay. I can't wait to see what other buttons they have on that joystick, Anyway, also, Perrin's new pack consists of Aviendha and Hopper. I like that he's getting to build on his own, his own relationships with Hopper. Hopper joins him at a very early stage, and they get to travel together. So they're going to get to develop a true, relationship and friendship. And obviously that's going to be his ride or die. They have a lot of things in common, and and Hopper's there for him, So, and also Aviendha is the Aiel in the cage from, what a turning of the wheel. I didn't see that coming. It definitely was a surprise, guys. Of course, it makes you wonder about romantic implications, Gal, Fail, ring a bell? I'm here for it either way. Let's go with it. Lastly, I'm not sure, but I think Perrin leaves the hammer and the axe in the village. He leaves both of them in the village. And I thought that that would have been a great opportunity to highlight his choice of weapon. But we'll see. He's just, I kind of wonder, like, okay, dude, grab something and keep it with you. I guess you don't want to be walking down the street with just an axe. It just looks weird, but a hammer. Keep that hammer. You had a really nice hammer there. It gave me flashbacks. Looking forward to it, seeing what else they come up with. And Ishi, pulling strings all over the world. He's in control. My man is just like, he's like Elon Musk everywhere you need him to be. He left Moraine alive despite Lanfear's frustrations, and ingratiating himself with the High Lord Turok and gifting him the Horn of Valir and a strong channeler in Egwene. He meant to give him all three of them. That would have been crazy if that would have happened, but thank goodness it didn't. And I think that it's more of a plan to plant seeds of chaos. He is the Lord of Chaos. So, and just to kind of take some really big pieces off the board, like a special artifact like the Horn of Valir and powerful channelers that the light would have had, but to take them off the board as far as being accessible to the side of the light, and giving them access through the dark, through the sunshine. So we'll see how that happens. Let's see how that works out for you, Ishi. Let's go. And he releases Lanfear also. He said that he released Lanfear first because he understands her goals, which is very understandable. It's kind of predictable when you know what a person wants. And has two high-ranking operatives in the tower and within the Shanshan. So he has his finger on the pulse of a lot of different things. And I'm looking forward to see how he continues to weave his web. The White Tower, hey guys, you need to get better. You need to get your stuff together and get it together soon. I don't know where Swan Shanche is. I hope we see her soon, maybe in the next episode. I'm hoping that Swan Shanche might show up in Kyrian, which will be interesting. I think that would be good. And I'm hoping that Rand, meets with Matt while they're there. And then Rand gets to meet with Min again. And I think that would be great. And hopefully Moraine gets to meet with Min and let her know, boo, I ain't trying to, ain't nobody trying to hurt you or nothing like that. We use you, but we not trying to hurt you. But the White Tower, y'all need to get together and figure out what's going on, or else y'all have lost the last battle before it even started. It is what it is. Figure your stuff out, guys. And I wonder who Ishi is going to think about releasing next. I think that's going to be very interesting. I think he should go with another guy before he releases like a Moghedien or a Grendel. I heard those names mentioned, so I was like, "Ooh, here we go." But we'll see what happens next. And with half the season of the books, how are you? I'm wondering how are they going to wrap the end of this season up with just 3 episodes left in the season. So they have 3 episodes to wrap up pretty much the Great Hunt. But I'm here for it. Let's go. Last but not least, of course, is a shout out to the new cast members that were featured tonight in this episode. In the episode, Avienda, of course, who was played by Ayola Smart. I hope that I got that right. Dane Bornhald, who was played by Jay Duffy, and Barthanes Damadred, who was played by Will Tudor. You guys did great jobs, although we didn't see too much of Barthanes, but I'm sure that he will have a bigger role in the next episode, of course, with his wedding occasion coming up soon, his wedding celebration. So let's see who comes out to the wedding celebration. That's going to be very cool, and I'm looking forward to it. But guys, this is a little bit a different format. I'm trying to go a little shorter, not give bullet point, recaps of the whole entire episode. You guys watched it, but I'm just gonna, trying to give a quick little recap and tell you guys what I thought about it. So I'm hoping you guys like the new format and come back for the next one. But thank you all, of course, for stopping by, for my Wheel of Time Season 2, Episode 5 review. Please remember to comment, like, subscribe, share, and rate me wherever you want to see more CallMeNakomi World. And also, please, if you like sports, please find me on my other channel, Call Me a Sports Fan, here on YouTube. It's tons of fun. We talk about everything. I'm looking forward to recapping with my friends week 2 of NFL football, week 3 of college football, touch on that a little bit, and also getting into maybe some other sports news that's out here and there, but either way, I thank you all for viewing, and I pray that you enjoyed it. You can follow me, of course, at CallMeNakomi on Instagram, CallMeNakomi, the number 1 on X, and also you can always reach me on my email at callmenakomi@gmail.com. Remember, you can find me on YouTube and listen to me on podcasts at Apple Podcasts and Spotify. But until next time, take care of one another, be good to one another, and may you always find water and shade.